I'm grinding some of the annata seeds I got in the Coronation Market the other day to make some Goddess Glow soap. It's been a while since I made this soap or any soap, to be honest. If you check my website, you will notice that a lot of them are out of stock because I kind of lost my mojo. And as a woman, that can happen for many reasons. Personally, I'm very sensitive. So if one thing gets thrown off, the whole thing gets thrown off, to be honest. As a woman, I experience hormonal changes and I'm not always inspired or have the energy to do things, and I'm not motivated by money. So I have to have a strong desire to do things, especially the same things over and over again. And I'm not going to force myself either. If I don't feel it, I don't feel it. And so on those days, I simply do other things that I feel more inspired to do. And I'm grateful that I can do this, but I'm also intentionally designing the life that I want to live. I want to live more freely, and being a slave to money doesn't afford me that freedom. But I also have a supportive partner. I can't ignore that, but I also asked for him, because I know that I never wanted to be a working mother. So when I have children, I don't plan to be a working mom. I don't plan to be a host mother either. I want the flexibility to move and live as freely and as adventurous as I want to. And this year, I actually want to do some traveling, some extended traveling. So I want to be free to create as I want and move as freely as I want to. So as I speak, I am designing the life that I want to live. And it's beautiful watching it manifest. Give thanks to Spirit and give thanks for ancestral guidance. My life is also a whole lot simpler than it used to be, so that does give me some edge. But I will no longer let anyone tell me that I have to do anything, and I don't feel less ambitious for it. I do the things that light me up when I want to do them, and I make no apologies for that. My life is mine to do what I want. Something I wish I had learned much earlier. I came here to live and to experience life fully. And that's what I'm going to do. Not work and sleep. Life is always a choice. And I choose to live a more connected life. People tend to think that it's hard for women to balance femininity and entrepreneurship. And I agree. Most women haven't really found the balance. And I understand why it's difficult for them to find the balance, because to be an entrepreneur, to be a business person, it takes a lot of masculine energy, because it really is a masculine space. A woman has to be very assertive, very aggressive, have this go-getter type of energy when she's an entrepreneur. And I know, because I've been there. I've been trying to tap into that aggressive spirit within me. I spoke about this in the video I did on dark feminine energy, about how I was trying to tap into this type of savage energy through listening to Megan Thee Stallion's music, because it does take that energy to be successful in business. It's not about politeness, it's not about friendliness, it's not about caring for everybody and being equal and fair. This is capitalism that we're operating in. So the scale is never balanced, and so you have to work to have this scale balance in your favor. So most women are gonna struggle in that type of environment because it's not natural for us. We have to be outside of our elements completely to thrive in this space. And it's not really even truly thriving because we do make money, but there's so many other parts of our femininity that is neglected because of that. I think that there is a way that women can find that balance, where she can maintain her femininity, maintain her womanhood, and still be an entrepreneur, still maintain a business. There's a way to do it, and that's what I want to share with you today a bit about. But this is also something that we're going to dive deeply into at the retreat. Essentially what it is being in alignment with your womb. And I know this is a hard concept for women to grasp, unfortunately, because it really should be simple to us, because this is our body. The best way to balance your femininity and business is to be aligned with your womb and have everything else be in alignment with that. What do I mean by that? You have a 28-day cycle. You have 4 phases in the cycle. So you have 4 weeks in a month. And each phase of that cycle serves a different purpose and has a different energy. And so you have to flow with the energy of your cycle. And it is even more possible that you can do this when you have a business. When you're employed, it may be difficult. You may have to ask your employer for time. And what I'm about to suggest, I don't know how many employers will be willing. And this is one of the reasons why women don't realize that one of the reasons they're not paid equally in the workplace is not because men have better brains than them. It's just that men are more efficient because they don't have to think about their 28-day cycle. They're the same essentially right throughout the month. They're exactly the same. They don't change. So they are reliable. They know that a man can stay up late, he can lose sleep, he has the physical strength to do a lot of things that a woman cannot do. A man isn't gonna ask his boss to give him a couple of days off because of his period. And when you're living in capitalism, when profit is the driver, ain't nobody got time to think about your cycle. You understand? So in the workplace, women will struggle with this idea. But if you're in an entrepreneurship, this is easy for you because you create your own business, you create your own pace, your own schedule. In each phase, our bodies go through different things. Our hormones change. So throughout our cycle, our bodies behave differently. Mentally we're different, physically we're different. Now the first phase of your cycle is your menstruation. Through this week, from day 1 to day 7, women shouldn't be doing anything. You shouldn't be doing anything but resting. Taking time for yourself if you want to read, if you want to reflect on the previous weeks, what you've done. You want to set intentions. Because similar to the phases of the moon has 8 phases, but you can't sum it to 4 phases, and those are in sync with our cycle, because the new moon phase is really where our menstruation is. So it's a space of deep rest and deep thought, deep reflection, setting intentions. So this is what we should be doing during this phase. not exerting ourselves, not trying to do the most, not trying to use up all of our energy. We don't even have the energy during this period. We should be resting and replenishing our bodies, eating up all of the good fruits, all of the good food, drinking our sea moss, drinking all of the best herbs, some nettles, some raspberry leaf, some vervine, the iron-rich herbs that we can drink during this time. All of the best herbs that's full of the phytonutrients that our body is gonna need during this time. This is not the phase that we really should be at work, that we really should be boggled down with anything that's gonna stress us. We don't need any stress during this period. We don't need arguments during this period. What we need is rest. So that's one phase of the cycle. But then you have another phase of the cycle where your energy is extremely high. And this is during ovulation, the energy starts to build. It's a build-up. And then you get to the next phase where your energy is extremely high. Now you're really creative, extremely productive, really outgoing, very social. So this is a great time to really focus on business. It's a great week to do a whole lot of what you need to do for your business. And believe me, your business will thrive for it because it is getting the best of you during this time, right? So you can create all the things that you want to create, produce all the things that you want to produce, make all major decisions during this time, because you don't want to be making any major decisions during your cycle. I didn't realize I was doing these things during my cycle, making decisions, and later on, you know, you see the result of making a decision that just wasn't, you weren't in the right mind, the right frame of mind. You didn't have the right energy to really put into making that decision at that time, you know. So really, this part of your cycle is the best time to make decisions. It's also the best time to talk to your partner, you know, about something important, discuss something important, because men don't really find us relatable otherwise, to be honest. Most times they're confused by us. But during this part of our cycle, we are most relatable, you know, because this is a time actually when our energy matches masculine energy. You know, we can match up to them during this phase of our cycle. So we are most relatable to them. You know, they understand us better. So it's one of the best times to communicate with your partner. From ovulation, go up, right? Good time. Not the week before your menstruation. The week before and during menstruation is not the time to talk about those things, right? To even have difficult conversations, not the time for it. So you realize that there is a time and place for everything, and our ancestors understood this, you know. That's the difference between women of ancient and us, is that they understood their bodies and knew how to move and flow with the way our bodies work, you know, and don't feel any resistance towards that. Don't feel handicapped because of that. You are a woman, and you have to learn to accept all that comes with a woman. More than anything, women need radical self-acceptance, because if we don't, we're going to suffer. And we've seen women suffer in so many different ways, especially as it relates to our womb. We suffer because we're not living in balance. And I even found myself forcing myself to do certain type of work during my menstruation and being frustrated. Actually, not even, I wasn't even noticing what parts of my cycle I was in. And this is why it's important to know where you are in your cycle every month, so you can understand that where your energy is. I used to be trying to force myself to make things when I'm not in that phase. I'm not in my creative phase. I'm in my rest phase, but I'm trying to push myself to work, and that used to depress me. because I used to say, what is wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? Why is my energy so low? Why do I not feel motivated? What's going on? You know? And I didn't realize that I just was not in my creative phase. I was in my rest phase. And so I just need to rest, right? I remember when I was in high school, you know, I used to remember seeing a lot of girls disappear during certain periods of the month. I never had a difficult period, but I know many women did. And so I used to wonder, what the hell is going on with them? Why they disappear? I used to think they were exaggerating as well, but I didn't realize that some women have very difficult periods. And even now that I'm more aware of my cycle, I'm feeling the changes in my body a whole lot more than I used to. And it's not that I'm having more symptoms, it's just that I was not aware of what was going on. You know, I would be bloating, I would feel a little cramp. No, when I feel cramps, it's because I'm too active. I'm too active. I know I need to be resting. Once I start feeling my energy start feeling drained, I know I'm too active. I'm on my cycle. I should be resting. My body speaks to me all the time, and this is another thing that women have to learn. You have to learn to listen to your body. You have to learn to hear your body when it is speaking to you, and respond. Don't ignore it. So I was having this conversation with my friend Dana. She's a businesswoman, and you know, very aggressive businesswoman as well, and she can get into business mode very easily. We'll be talking, and once the topic of business comes up, you know, her face lights up, her eyes light up. She's in a different zone, you know, but she knows how to turn it off too. Like, she's very good with softening, for switching it up. She transitions very well from businesswoman to soft. She knows how to do that, but she struggles with her cycle as well. So, and I know that a lot of her struggles come from her being more in her masculine, you know. So we were discussing the 21-day cycle that the Baba Shanti women follow. They call it the 21-day principle, and she was saying that it's extreme, and I agree with her. It is a little bit extreme. I think 14 days would make more sense, because for 21 days they're in isolation. I don't think it's complete isolation for all 21 days. I think maybe during menstruation is complete isolation, but you know, for the most of the days they're away from the temple. They don't go close to men, and you know, so they stay in the women's section of the compound. So, but to me, I think 14 days is more reasonable. You know, 14 days for me would be the week before my menstruation and the week of my menstruation. And based on my experience, I know how I am before my cycle starts. And most of my friends, I know, they can tell that they're in the week before their cycle. You know, your energy gets lower, you're less motivated, you start to go into rest mode. I want to do an interview with a young woman that I know lives at Bubble Hill. I want to do it for the upcoming season of the Sacred Living podcast. So I want to interview her about that, about her 21-day cycle, what it is like, what does she do. She kind of explained it to me before. She said that, you know, she does a lot, she rests a lot, she reads, she makes stuff, you know. Women don't really have time to make stuff anymore, you know. We don't have time for our creative side, so we don't get to make things. Women used to knit, women used to, you know, sew, women used to just make things, you know, make jewelry, make clothes. We don't do those things anymore because we don't really have the space to do that, you know. And this time would be a good period to do some reading. We don't have time to read most of the times, you know. So she says that she takes that time to read and study and meditate. set our intentions, focus on her intentions, you know. I mean, I think it's a long time. I think 14 days is reasonable for me for rest and meditation. Dana was very resistant to it. She was just like, no, that coming like I'm going to have to be a slave to my cycle. And I was saddened by that expression. I didn't really like hearing her say that, because it really shows how much we don't accept ourselves as women, and we see our womanhood or our womanness as some kind of trap. We see our cycle and our bodies as a handicap. You know, we see ourselves as broken, and that's part of our struggle. You know, if we cannot accept these things about ourselves, we're gonna struggle. You have to know that your body is going through changes right throughout the month, and it's not just on your menstruation. Before and after, there are things happening. There is highs and lows. There are hormonal changes. Knowing these things will help you to be more effective, more efficient, more productive, more in tune with your body, more in tune with your womb, and your womb will love you for it. We're gonna dive deeper into this at the retreat. So if this is something that you really want to understand deeply, you can join us at the retreat. I think it would be good for you to join us and learn more about how to connect with your womb, how to live and stay connected to your womb, and stay balanced and thrive in every other aspect of your life, because you are in balance with your womb. It's not a sentence, it's not a life sentence. There is power in our femininity. There is power in our womanhood. It's not weakness. It takes nothing away from us, right? We are more empowered when we understand and accept our bodies and accept our difference from men. That is empowering for us. It is not empowering for us to try to be like men and try to be in the same spaces as men and think that we can function like men. We're only going to suffer if we do that. How it has empowered me is I feel more free. You know, I don't feel trapped in anything. I don't feel like I have to do anything. I can focus my energy where I want to focus it, when I want to focus it. And it's less stress. It's less stress. And I feel more balanced. I feel more at peace. I create when I feel like creating. And then I rest when there is time to rest. I can set all the intentions that I want for all of the things that I want to do when I'm in the period of high energy. When I get there, because I've already set the intention, the energy, I know where to focus my energy. So that's that. Those are my thoughts on women in business and femininity. I think it's definitely possible for women to balance their feminine energy and be entrepreneurs. And I think that is the best way to do it. We don't live in a world, hopefully, I don't know if it will ever change, but women will be the ones who will have to demand it. And I don't know that it will make sense that women are in a workspace and asking for a week off. You know, I don't know, maybe if it's like a flexible work schedule, it can possibly work, where you figure out, okay, women get 7 days off every month. And so, but it will be confusing because all women are on different cycles. So I don't know, but I just know what works for me and what I'm happy with and what I thrive with. I think one important thing women have to do also is do what they're passionate about. Do something that moves you, something that you love doing, you enjoy doing, it doesn't feel like work. And you can also find purpose in it. Something that you feel happy doing, something that makes you feel purposeful, something makes you feel like you are in service, you're doing a service, you're helping others in some way or another. So it's not just about making money. Yes, making money is important, but we all need money in this space, right? But if you're doing it for the love first, the money will come. Do it for the love first, do it for the passion first, and yeah, the money come. And at the same time, you are balanced within yourself and in your body. Mind, body and soul is balanced. So I know it sounds kind of fairy tale, but it's not unrealistic and it's not unattainable. You just have to want it. That's my thoughts on that. If you have any thoughts on this topic, let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't yet. Still aiming for 20k by June. So if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. What I wanted to share with you also is that I started memberships, because I'm now able to do memberships on my channel, and I have 2 videos on there. But really what I want to do it for story times. Yes, I also want to do it for a soap making course. If you don't know, I am a cosmetic chemist. I make hair products and skincare products, from shampoos to conditioners, hair butters, hair oils, body oils, bar soaps, face soaps, and much more. I have so many other products that I want to put out that I haven't yet. And I've created some wellness products as well, some wellness teas. A lot of people have asked me to teach them how to make soaps, and I don't really have the time and energy, and then my space is small, so it's kind of difficult for me to teach in this space, and then working out the schedules and all of that. So it's kind of a challenge to even think about doing that, but I definitely want to do it, because there is an art to making soaps. There is a science to it, and I'm very lucky that I learned all of these things. And it's funny, because I never really wanted to make soaps initially. My intention was to really learn how to make creams and butters, and so soaps kind of just came along with it, and I ended up loving it because it reminded me of ceramics. And I really wanted to do ceramics. I did ceramics in high school, but I wanted to go on to college and do ceramics, and my mother said no, because I really wanted to go to Edna Manley, and she was just like, no, ain't no money in art. So soap making kind of soothes that longing in me, because it's very similar. I don't know how to explain it, but there's something about it that is similar, that reminds me of ceramics. I never intended to, but it ended up being something that I love doing. I especially love it when I just get up and make a soap randomly, like, okay, I want to make a Spanish needle and coconut soap, like just random. I'm gonna make that today. I love that part of it because it's very creative, and I am very creative myself, so I like coming up with things. I like birthing new things. Soap making definitely provides me with that. So I'm grateful that I learned, and I'm grateful for how I learned, because I really truly understand the science. And my recipes are all mine. I made all of my recipes on my own. I didn't copy anything. Nobody told me what to do. So I know exactly what goes into all of them and why. And that's important for the quality of the soap that you want. And I'm very specific about the quality of my soaps. If something doesn't come out right, it bothers me. It bothers me. Like if the quality drop, that bothers me. So I'm always working to improve the quality. I'm always working to get it to be, the line to be as clean as possible, because I see the soaps that are out there and I'm like, there's something missing. I think a lot of people really didn't grasp the chemistry of it all, you know. And so you see it reflected in how the soaps look and how the soaps are used. If you're interested in making soaps, learning how to make soaps, or you're interested in improving your soaping technique, then you can look out for this course. I'm gonna make sure that it's thorough and there is enough information there that will be helpful for you. So I leave the link also for the retreat, the Dark Feminine Rising retreat coming up in June. If you want to be there, click the link in the description and learn more about what the retreat is all about, and you can also book at this link as well. And if you want to have a conversation with me before booking, that information is also on the page. So yeah, just reach out and we'll link up and we can talk about it. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care of yourselves and we will link up in the next video. Alright, love you. Bye.